So we're into early summer, 13th of December, 2025. Today is going to be a top of 29 degrees, and we've had quite a few over 30-degree days. Oh, not quite a few, just a couple really, but there's more to come. And the sun is, it's a minimum of 17. The sun is rising at 5:58 pretty much every day, and it's setting at 8:38. The days are definitely getting drier, but we've just had a little bit of rain. I'll zoom in a bit now. I'm still experimenting with camera settings, and today I have the action thing turned off. Live action or whatever it is. So I'll compare today's settings with others. The breadseed poppies, first time I've ever grown them. I didn't realize how quickly the petals fall off with the breadseed poppies. They only seem to last a day or two or maybe three depending on the weather. So if it's a cool day, they stay longer, the petals, but if it's hot, they fall off within the same day that they bloom, which did disappoint me a bit. But then they do have flowers that they keep flowering because they have these little buds. There. But some have fallen sideways like these ones, so some of them seem to need staking for me. The bees absolutely love them. Not that there's any bees in there now, but usually there is. And they are pretty, but I've had a few problems with some of them, like two lots over there have gone brown. So I don't know if that's because of those hot days we have, or if I'm not getting enough water to them. But other ones are doing okay and are not turning brown. Rex can be a bit of a bulldozer in the garden, unfortunately. Anyway, I love the seed heads, how fat they get, and I will absolutely spread the seed around. I guess that happens in autumn, because they are a delight, really. So early summer, the garden is really thriving, I think. I'm so glad I got this bed, its irrigation done. It just helps with time and keeping things well watered. But I really need to get other beds done because I'm spending half an hour every day or every 2 days watering. The smoke bush just looks so dark this year, much darker than other years, but maybe it's because it's matured and quite established now. and I just love the look of it with those puffy smoke clouds. I'm enjoying this bed with the pestamens. They are really easy and a great flower in a dry, hot climate in summer, but they also seem to last, these ones here, the whole winter. Not flowering, but just being there, kind of evergreen. I've got 2 Evelyn penstemons here, which will get big and hopefully flower soonish. I'm really pleased with the lupins, that these ones at the back continue to flower. As always, my cornflowers go sideways. Should I cut them back soon and see if they just grow upward again? I'm not sure. But I do love that splash of blue. And the hollyhocks are blooming really well. All my rogue sunflowers are looking good. I deadheaded this comfrey and it was developing seeds. I took them all away so that hopefully I don't get too many rogue comfrey plants popping up. And the cone flowers are starting to bloom. I grew these from seed and put them in the ground last season, and they just sat there growing their leaves with no flowers. So this year I will be rewarded for my patience. They were a mixed colour variety, so I have no idea what colours I'm going to get. Here's one of my many Sunday Phrase hydrangeas, which has some blooms promising. This pretty little rose, I need to cut back and allow it to have its second flush. This is irrigation pipe that will connect the hose to this garden. It goes under the path, and then having this irrigated will help me in terms of time. So this path here, I did put some weed poison down to kill all the weeds, but that patch has got some lawn daisies in it that I didn't want to die. But I have planted some creeping thyme there, which I grew from seed, and it's establishing really well. Just have to be patient and let it creep through the path. This buddleia has really big flowers with more of a subtle perfume than the one behind over there. I've got some rogue cosmos growing everywhere, which I really need to pull up a lot of them. This is, I think it's Bishop of Landgraf Dahlia, which was around the corner in my long bed, my long garden, and it never looked this good. So it's really liking this new spot. And when I transplanted it here, I did divide it. And I replanted it over here. Just there. I'll get to that in a minute. These canna I planted from seed. Here's this big buddleia flower. Very striking. Another rogue cosmos in the middle of my Asiatic lilies, and last night when I put them all to bed, they hadn't bloomed like that, so that is a nice surprise. There's my crepe myrtle. Putting on some new growth, and the straw flowers are really liking it here. I hope they get taller, and I hope these zinnias get taller too, the ones that survive that late spring frost. I planted some cleome, some has died, but I've got 3 or 4 that have survived, so I hope they do well and spread their seed everywhere. You can see the die-off on some of the breadseed poppies. The yarrow is really pretty at the moment with its flower. Beautiful blue delphinium, but it is flopping everywhere. And here's the other Bishop of Landgraf dahlias. But when I planted them, they were actually got about that big, and then the late frost hit and they died right back to the ground. But they've come back really well. I'm looking forward to this flowering eventually. I think it flowers mid to late summer. It is lion ears. I've forgotten the Latin name, but it has a beautiful orange, interesting flower. My spirea is looking colourful. I bought 2 of these. This one likes this position really well. It's got some flower buds on it. And there's my official bed of cosmos, where they're allowed to be, backed by hollyhocks, but the cosmos has spread everywhere. Looking back the other way, just looks so full now compared to when I first cleared this area of all the weeds, got rid of the trees that was here. It was a tea tree. You can see the stump still there. and Helga really enjoys it. This buddleia is very aromatic. The perfume fills the whole space here. The black and bloom salvias are blooming with their very pretty blue flowers. They are a really nice, tough, hardy plant that flowers all summer and into autumn. Here's my current irrigation project. It will be good to get that long bed done too, so that it really suffers with water because of the two she oaks that take all the water. So it really needs regular irrigation in summer. Another Sunday phrase hydrangea, which is really healthy, this one, and promising lots of flowers. This one matches the one I've got in that bed, and it also is doing well. Bordered by, I think that's Italian lavender. Another black and bloom that wasn't supposed to be here, but I've let it go. My first ever black-eyed Susan there, or Rudbeckia. Oh, Helga. She gets under your feet. There's some rogue cosmos that I really should pull up. Heaps of it around. Those lilies are striking, aren't they? That hebe continues to do well, and this hebe has started flowering again, and it was one of the only things flowering in winter. So it's a really good performer. And my husband chose that when we went to the nursery one day. I'm not a big fan of hebes, but I think I'm starting to change my mind with that. I'm remembering to do the slow pan. I've got a gardenia in this pot. It's a Florida, and a friend tells me that she finds them very hard to grow, and I'm kind of experiencing the same thing. When I googled those yellow leaves, it said that it might need iron, but I've got it in a gardenia specific potting mix, and I've got a gardenia feed on it. So I've just started watering it a bit more, and it is looking a bit better, so maybe just keeping the water up will help. I'll go on the widescreen. This is one of my favourite views. I do need to whippersnip the weeds on either side. The lavender bordering the path with the Sunday phrase hydrangeas. When they flower, I think that's going to look spectacular. This is my climbing David Austin rose that I did deadhead, so it will get another flush very soon. Okay, back to the normal view. That's that rose. My experiment with transplanting this rose that I think has died, but see that little bit of green? I keep adding water, hoping that I see some new growth, but nothing yet. This ivy geranium is a really good performer in the heat. And the heaven sent magnolia is doing well. So I'll go widescreen again. So this whole area is going to be an extended bed, and I've added some white snapdragons from the back down here, which may or may not survive because we've had a few hot days. I had to move them because last weekend I bought another 2 Sunday Phrase hydrangeas, so the snapdragons were moved here. I've also got this bed down here, which I planted some of those snapdragons in, and a few other seedlings that I still had growing, but that will be planted up in autumn with silver birches. And eventually this will be another bed, but not for a while yet. Out here I've got, trying to make this a nice feature pot, but it was hit by that late frost. I've got a rubber tree and some coleus, and I think I'm going to plant some of the blue trailing plant. What's it called? Dichondra. Plant some dichondra in here too. Silver falls. That is a linden tree. Another ivy geranium, and this beautiful lavender. I love it, but it's going sideways because of the smoke bush having so much shade, so I probably need to prune this smoke bush more regularly than what I have been, which is hardly ever. This lavender is just about due for a good prune. And here's the snapdragon I transplanted. Will it come back? We will see. These callistemon are flowering, and I do like the colour of the bottle brushes. And the buddleia is coming along well. The geranium there. But I need to get more things in this bed. And I need to do weeding. This top bed is being neglected. You can see all the weeds there. But some things are doing well. Like this little magnolia. And these daisies. So yes, this is being neglected while I do other things, but eventually I'll have a good weeding session here, and it also needs more plants, but hardier plants, because the soil is not good up here. And eventually I will work on this, making this a bed, mostly succulents I think, and this will be my gravel path. So here we are up on my big dry rockery kind of bed. The Hardenbergia is still looking good after I pruned it. This Echium is doing really well. I'm looking forward to flowers, hopefully this summer. 2 Nyphopias I think won't flower until next season. So my experimental hedge of Euphorbia wolfenii, they're starting to fill out, and then eventually it turns into a lavender hedge, and the lavenders are really filling out as well. This is a rogue poppy, so that's really pleasing. Two Shasta daisies seem to be slow, but they're getting there. Grew them from seed. This is about to flower. Is it a Billy Buttons? I can't quite remember. Get mixed up between these and the other ones, which I thought were Billy Buttons, but I don't think they are. My pink buddleia. No, I think it's more purple, or is it pink? I think it's supposed to be pink. This miscanthus is looking really good, and will get even bigger yet, I think. Two little geraniums, still coming along. Grew them from seed. That's an overdam grass, which is establishing really well. But one of my priorities is this little plant, which is really slow, but it is definitely not dying, and it is called the desert hollyhock, with a beautiful orange flower that's very hardy. So I really want it to survive and establish here and reseed itself, hopefully. Along with the rose campion that I've planted up here. Here. I did have 5 of these, but now there's only these 3 left. I think slater bugs are to blame for the other 2, which died. And my pomegranates are doing well. Eventually there'll be a hedge here, and a hedge along that border of pomegranate. My smaller smoke bush, a younger one. It's underplanted with autumn joy sedum, which might be shaded out a bit too much, but we'll see how it goes. Remember, I used to have a fence here which we took out and allowed this box hedge to shine a bit more. This jasmine is quite perfumed now. We can smell it, particularly in the evenings. This bed has a lot of sunflowers, most of them rogue. I planted one sunflower in that bed, so the others have all just popped up. And I'm still really enjoying this purple heart plant with its cute pink flowers. This is the new rose. I meant to look up the name, the specific name, but I forgot. It is thornless, and we now have some new blooms. I believe they get a pinky colour as they mature. The perfume is really nice. These snapdragons are coming back after I gave them a heavy prune. The star of this show at the moment is the oak leaf hydrangea with its beautiful flowers. And here is one of the two Sunday phrase hydrangeas that I bought last weekend, and I had to pull out those white snapdragons in order to plant it in this area. I'm not sure how it will go because it doesn't get a lot of sunlight, and it gets heavy or quite strong afternoon sunlight. So we'll just keep an eye on it. And my hosta is flowering for the first time. It's currently about 20 degrees. We've got a few days of low to mid 30s coming up. Actually, we've got 2 days of cool temperatures, about 19 degrees, and then it goes up to mid to low 30s. The Maya lemon, I've been giving a little bit more water and it's responded well. The nasturtiums are looking a bit tired, so maybe they need a little more water too. Forget-me-nots are still flowering. The buddleia here is new, a white buddleia, and it's flowering. And the foxgloves are all still flowering a little bit. This bed will get some major editing starting from today, so that these echinops and other plants can thrive a little bit more. I've got a white echinops and a new blue echinops, which is just this little one here. I really want to get some alliums in here, like gladiator alliums or something like that. This little snapdragon is a volunteer, and I really like the colour of it. So I'm going to let it stay there and then maybe transplant it somewhere in the autumn. Finally, some of my new calendula have flower buds, so very soon I'll see those different coloured browny, burnt orange calendula flowers. Snowball bush, snowball viburnum continues to grow. These pink Sunday salvias are spent and I need to cut them down. I trimmed the camellia to keep its shape. That rose is doing really well after I cut it pretty much to the ground in spring. Okay, here's the second Sunday Phrase hydrangea I bought last weekend, and it is liking that position. This is a funny little position. It's between our shed and the house, and it gets sun from about 1:30 until 5:30. So that's strong afternoon sun, and then deep shade for the rest of the time. But all three hydrangeas, Hercules, Sunday Phrase and Oakley, seem to be enjoying it. And the sweet peas are still going, but they'll be pulled out soon to allow the moonflower vine, I've got one there and one there, to really dominate. More of the pink Sunday salvia, and this one is growing in between the rocks, the pavers. Chamomile is looking a little bit tired, might need more water. These stock are so hardy, aren't they? They just do well every season for me and flower all winter. Okay, I'm really enjoying these hydrangeas. This is a white ball, and I've noticed they're quite pinkish in those bracts, so that's a nice surprise. This is my Magical Revolution. And I like the combination of the lime green with the pink, and that gets more dramatic as they mature. And this is the Candlelight, which I think might need a bit more sun. The comfrey is blocking it. Alright, this bed, all these sunflowers in it. I do have 2 lilies, Sarah Bernhardt Orientals, so they should have a nice perfume. One here and one there. The breadseed poppy liked it here, and my dahlia, Cafe Olay, is flowering with more buds promising. But this bed needs some major editing. So the sweet peas are spent and they've got seed pods, so I'm going to take them down today, I think. And around the other side is another moonflower vine. So I love this lavender. It's the same as the one at the front underneath the smoke bush. These snapdragons need cutting down. I might just work on this bed today actually. Another breadseed poppy. So in here, that is the moonflower vine. So when it gets more sun to it, when I take the sweet peas off, it should thrive and grow up that. That's the theory. We'll see what happens. So with these sweet peas, what I did last season, when I took them down, I just spread a few around the base and they sprouted in autumn. So I overwinter them there and they flower during spring, and then they won't last our hot summers, so I cut them down. I've got a canna and coleus in this pot. And a couple, I put that nasturtium in, but this one has popped up. And this gardenia is doing really well. It's a bit floppy, but it is flowering and the perfume is really nice. Lots of beautiful blue dichondra. So I'll transplant some of that to that front pot. And I think dichondra is a native Australian plant, which I didn't realise. The cotton lavender is flowering too. And the blue fescue grass I transplanted is doing really well. There's those things that I thought were billy buttons, but they're not. I need to look them up. And these little blue flowered, whatever they are, I need to look them up too. Rex and Helga. Okay, so the long bed is the last garden, and it's my toughest garden because, as I said before, these 2 she oaks take all the water here. So some things need to be watered every day. So I really need to get this irrigation done soon. But everything's doing okay, including this Virginia. I think this heuchera might be getting a little bit sunburnt because it does get late afternoon sun. More of the pink Sunday salvias. This evening primrose is liking it here. I just transplanted that not that long ago. They're supposed to have a strong perfume, but It's very subtle to my nose. Maybe that will change as the season goes on. The oreganos and majorums do really well here. They don't need a lot of water. I don't water them at all actually. They're starting to flower. This is the green dichondra that I'm going to put somewhere, but I need to decide where. Mystic Spires salvia. Some rogue snapdragons I transplanted. The two goras are establishing nicely. Another evening primrose. A snowball tree up there, which is doing well. This black and bloom salvia struggles a bit there because of the water problem. And I've got two Sunday Phrase hydrangeas, which are my worst performers. And I think they just need more water. That's a cistus, rock rose, which loves it there, and I never water it. And the achillea does really well. And these geums are doing well too. The scabiosa, I think something's happening to the flowers, which, yeah, a lot of them are kind of turning brown. So that one turned purple, but these ones, don't know if there's a pest. I'll keep an eye on that. Euphorbia wolfenii is so impressive, the way it maintains that structure for so long, and I haven't been watering it at all, along with that gora. So this is a very dry bed, as I said, because of those she oaks, but these plants are performing really well. And this Westringia, I just keep shaping it, trimming it now and then to keep that shape. And we're back to the front bed. So I'll go on the wide screen. So that is early summer 2025.